everything you have said since we walked in here, I want it on camera. Your spirit is beautiful and just very exciting. Should be all filmed.
I've been telling people, document this, because this, I say document this for one and only reason, because this is something in the making.
Yeah.
Right? And to see the growth, me, first of all, stepping out of this body and looking at this whole making of this stuff, I'm like, yo, if it was all recorded, it would be even more awesome, because the lessons that I've learned and the things that I've endured throughout this time, being such an individualist or being such a person that goes against the grain or not deal with the norm, it's been so much growth with that. And the people that think that just trusting themselves and going with their heart would lead them not to make more money or not to make more connect, I'm here to show them that is not the truth. The truth is whatever you call it to be the truth. So if you say that's the case, then that's what it's going to be. So my whole journey is a big example of what they told us that we can't do, and that's not possible. I just show people that all of it is possible. So it should be recorded, because I'm not gonna redo it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's one journey. It's like it's gonna keep going and keep growing. So I'm like, yeah, man, a lot of it should be documented. So when somebody like you call and show interest in the story, I'm always willing to express a story to the people that understand the journey, because I know that the story has to be told, and it has to be told by the right people. And I'm honored as well to be here. So let's get started.
Okay, perfect. So I was going to start with creative origins and philosophy. So my first question is, what inspired you to create Protect Your Heart, and how has the meaning evolved for you over time?
It was a collaboration, right, that was set forth between me and Spirit to come up with something of a bridge word. Words that carry such a frequency that would bridge the soul and the physical and the non-physical in such a way that is seamless. Because, like in this place and world that we live today, people run away from their inner self because they don't fully know their inner self. So your inner self speaks to you so many times, so much, so loud, so many different ways that a lot of people don't listen. But there was a thing that we wanted to create, this bridge word or something that would allow people to see themselves instantly. And it took us about a year. And I'm talking about meditating, like we need a bridge word. We need a bridge word because we understood the frequency we was looking for, but we didn't know what the words was. And and then one day, well, we know we needed the word because we were setting out to find these words. And the reason why we wanted words is, funny thing is, as our research becoming an artist, because becoming an artist to me was another art of becoming an artist, because I wasn't, I was doing music and film and everything before that. So doing art was something that I had to embrace, become, learn, and start doing. So like one of the things that I did before even going in this artistic venture of mine was research different artists so I could get a gauge of what I was getting myself into. So the first thing I did was look for artists that had similar art like mine, which mine at the moment was black and white. So I looked up famous artists that have black and white artwork that had black and white artwork. Okay, cool, that's first. I think the first idea I had was to put the art in the streets first. I think that was the first idea I had. I was like, okay, I don't know nobody, I don't know no gallery. I just want to go and put it in the streets, but I didn't know how. Somebody told me about wheat paste. And I started researching wheat paste, and then I found Obey and Banksy, which was the two people that was using wheat paste at that time, or that had footage of them using wheat paste. And at the same time, they also had black and white art that they were pasting on the wall, because I knew that I couldn't spray paint at the moment. I couldn't. The art that I was doing, there's no way I could get it spray paint on the wall, so I had to do it on paper and then put it on the wall. So that's what the Banksy and the Obey showed me, that that was the way to do that. And also, when I started looking at those guys, I noticed they all had their own signature thing. I'm like, cool, I got my signature thing, so we on the same frame. But I noticed that they had a signature phrase, right? Signature something that connect, like Obey had Obey, and it had Andre the Giant. It had different things that signify Obey. So I was like, no, I need a phrase too. And I'm like, while I'm at it, I need numbers too. I want some numbers, so that way, because I'm from a fashion background. So once I think one thing, it comes in collective. So once I thought about a name, and I thought about I need a name for my art, I was like, okay, I want numbers too, so that way I can have my signified number, whatever that number would be. So if I ever do shirts, that number I'm gonna use, because I used to be a polo head, so number. So anyway, so fast forward to this whole thing. Come to find out, these guys had when I watched the movie, that movie with Obey and Mr. Brainwash. Mr. Brainwash had something beautiful, but they all had words. So I set out to find my own words, and that was the goal. For a whole year, we just kept meditating. What's the frequency word that holds the frequency that we need, that fits us? And one day I was on set on this show that I was doing, because I was working production, and I was looking at this heart that I had just did. And I did it upside down, because at that moment I was also coming to this realization that the world was literally upside down, and that was like 20 years ago. That everything that was told to me was literally the opposite. So I started looking at everything upside down. So the heart that was this way, I was like, man, F that heart, because whenever I see that heart, the red heart, there was no love present. So that shit cannot mean love. So I really denounced the heart that everybody want to draw. And I researched it. I'm like, where this shit come from? Who made this? And why is this the heart that everybody want to use? I'm like, fuck that. So I researched it, come to find out it's from a flower, and it was this and this. And it was some whole marketing scheme that made that heart the hallmark heart. I'm like, shit. If somebody created that shit, then I can create one myself. So I went set and say, you know what, I'm never gonna use his heart. I'm gonna make my own heart, and I'm gonna make that heart the new heart, because that heart is gonna be embracing and encompassing love in the most highest way, and it's gonna represent love. And whenever you see it, it's gonna represent the love of self, the love of energy. So I did the upside down heart, and I was like, and I drew some spikes on it, and I looked at the heart. I'm like, damn, that heart looked protected. When I said that shit, yo, like, the energy that ran through my body when the words came out my mouth was so powerful that I was like, the heart is protected. And I was like, protect your heart. And it just all, and I can't remember the moment it happened. I just remember the feeling. I remember the feeling of it happening, because I was like, okay, this is it. This is it. And then I sat on that for a whole year, because I didn't know how to express it. How am I going to tell people this word? Like, how am I gonna present it in an artistic way? And it took me a whole year to figure out the whole stamping on the floor thing. Was just like a year later, and I was like, yo, I found it. So Protect Your Heart started in 2009. 2009 was the first time I drew the heart. The word came probably a few months later, and then in 2014 is when I actually started doing it.
That was a journey. It's a remarkable journey, and I love that you brought us into that entire, like, from the very beginning of how it hit you, and how much time it took you to kind of figure out what it was, that meaning for you. It had to make sense to you.
Yeah, and at first it was based on protecting the energy of the heart, because at that moment, everything I was studying was based on energy. At that moment, I had just finished leaving that space, and I wanted to express that so much. Yeah, I had just finished leaving this whole meditation space where everything was about energy. I kind of lived in this non-physical state for a good 2.5 years, and probably was physical. Like, let's say out of 24 hours a day, I was probably physically in my body, like probably 5 hours out of those days, if that much. Other than that, I was out of my body. I was astral traveling. I was doing all sorts of the most craziest stuff because what happens is when you first come across this energy, it's like a baby. It's like vibrant, and then you kind of like lose it a little bit. Not lose it, but it graduates to another level where it's not happening as fluent, but it just I guess you live in it now. I can't even explain it. But at that moment, I was all into that astral traveling. It was one of the weirdest, most interesting, most beautifulest moment of my entire existence because I existed outside of my body. It's like transition. It's like what people call death. So in those moments when I came back from that little era, and I didn't want to even come back into population, meaning come back and talk to people or interact with people because I saw shit so clear that I was like, I don't want to talk to these humans. Like, no. And then it was kind of fear was involved, but more seclusion. But I think it was a little bit fear too because I didn't want to lose what I've worked so hard to get, which was this thing of just access to this most dopest energetic part of you ever. And I decided to go back into, I guess after a few meditations, I decided to bring that to the people. I'm like, if people need to experience this. This journey here is the journey of life. We need to talk to the people about it. But then at the moment, I realized that the only people that people listen to are celebrities. So I'm like, okay, then you're going to have to be a celebrity, because that's the only way they're going to listen to you. So I set out to be a celebrity, but in what? I was like, well, which one? Because literally at that moment, I was at the point where it's like, you're going to do what you want to do. Like, I still am on godly space where I knew whatever I wanted to do, I was going to do. So I was saying, what are you going to do? I'm going to take this energy, I'm going to put it into the art. And what, you want to write a movie? You're going to do a song about it? You're going to write some songs? Because I had access to any and everything that I can do. But I was like, nah, I want to do art. Because art don't require nobody. Because you're going to do it. You're going to do a movie, you're going to need production, you're going to need writers, you're going to need scripts, you're going to need this. You're doing a song, you're going to need producers, engineers. You're doing art, you don't need nobody but a pen, you, and the streets. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to funnel all this energy into art. And that's what started the art part of my career. Because I've been through so much changes as far as who I am. A lot of people could tell you they know me from this era or that era or this era. And they're like, yo, like, it's always a different version of me doing same level of shit on the highest version of it. So at that point, I came back into the industry and I wanted to bring them this love shit because Home Protect Your Heart started behind me not seeing no love. Like, it's like I said, any way you see the heart, it should be engulfed with love. It should be like, oh my God, look at the heart. Okay, it reminds us of love. It reminds us, none of that shit, bro. The heart just made people want to use it to manipulate each other. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't see none of that back then. So that's what Protect Your Heart started as. I wanted to introduce people to the real heart, their heart energy, not the red heart at a Hallmark that you just buy and give somebody and say, I love you. No, nigga, like the real shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta say real shit. You know what I'm saying? The I could feel it real shit. And everybody felt it, but they didn't know what they was feeling at the moment. Right now it's different. We're in the Aquarius, age of Aquarius. The energy is allowing people to awaken a little bit so they can hear us a lot more than they could 20 years ago when Protect Your Heart started. And that's that. What was the second question? I answered a lot.
That was beautiful. No, I think you answered both. You were talking about how, unless you want to add more into how it's evolved over time, I feel like you've kind of answered.
The evolving aspect of it was my understanding of it.
Okay.
It's always gonna be Protect Your Heart, the contract between me and Spirit to allow this space to be existing forever and ever as a portal where when it stops you, it brings you into the space of, wow, I gotta protect myself, and then it gives you the thought of the end, and all that stuff is all internally. I can't tell you what people go through, but they can tell me like that. They know what I feel is what everybody feels. So that is also them taking the energy that's I put down there, the love and dopeness, and they add in theirs, and it's like an exchange happening. And now the space that is existing in has this aura of high frequency energy that anybody that goes through it would actually get contaminated by it. So those become portal holes, like vortexes that we're creating all over the place. So that will always be. but the understanding of it and how it changed people's lives, how people have grown into it, and how I've grown into it, and the different versions of how this thing could be explained, expressed, and the growth that comes with it is it's been enormous. That and me, I'm growing. I had to go through a process recently where I had to just shut off my protected heart mechanism just to explore what other people talk about, its pain and its relationship things, because I'm just like, I see it from afar, but I've never really experienced it. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go through it, even though I know it's something that, you know, is humanly created. This thing where people come together and you for me and I'm for you, and nobody's for the creation of something beautiful. They just selfishly into each other and want this person to give me more of this, give me more of this. When together, it's just come together to create something dope. So it's like more now. I'm going through all of that, and I'm seeing so much. It's so awesome.
Street art can be fleeting, yet your message has lasted and traveled for a very long time, right? How do you think that contrasts impacts the viewer's relationship to your work?
Well, funny thing is, here's the funny thing about that question. Number one, nobody in New York, or maybe I'll just say New York, because that's where I started, right? Nobody in New York, maybe Miami too, had any street art that was resembling love. It was nothing for the people, right? Until I started doing the Michael Jackson with the hearts. And that was something that when I first did the street art, the Michael Jackson campaign, I had cut it out, and it just didn't look like. I'm a very aesthetic person, and if it doesn't feel right, and I looked at it on the wall, it just didn't feel right. I was like, I need something else. It's not. I needed to get the people's attention. I needed not to just be different. I needed to show my difference and show me my heart. And I remember when I was young, they used to, I think my auntie and them, they used to always show us how to fold the paper and then cut around it to make the heart. And I was like, maybe I should do that. So I took the Michael Jackson paper and I cut it up and made it long heart, however the paper was. And I'm like, it ain't a full heart, but it is a heart. And it looked like it would do. So then I started cutting all of them into hearts. And then I started doing that. And then that was before Protect Heart. And even that was getting so much static with the street art community, to who's out there putting hearts and what girl is love, and it's like they really, everybody was tough like 20 to 15 years ago. Nobody wanted to really show their real self. And then what happened was very, very, very outstandingly crazy. I started getting a lot of recognition from the people and getting a lot of pictures and a lot of posts. And now all these people that are saying, what's F with this heart, now started putting their art next to my art when they see my art, because they know that somebody's going to take a picture of that, so they want to be seen in the picture.
Yeah.
So, and then little by little, the same artists started doing hearts themselves and started doing love painting, and everything from their art started changing. Now it's about love and community and love. So in a way, I didn't say they copied off of me, but they saw me doing something that worked for me, but they wanted to use it for their own purpose. Because I didn't, first of all, when I started doing my art, even Protect Your Heart, I've not once have taken a picture of my own art when I put it out there. I didn't put it in and take a picture and then post the picture. Oh, look what I did. I didn't do none of that stuff. I just put it out there. And then I repost. Like, it was just everybody was posting, and all I did was repost. And that would show me that it's better to see it that way, because when you do something like for the streets, you gotta see if the streets is responding and let them be the responders. And I didn't know if they was gonna feel it or if they was gonna even respond until they started responding. And I'm like, it's exactly what we was hoping to happen. They're receiving the message, you know, even though nobody gave me credit at the moment because nobody knew where it's coming from, but they received the message. And the goal was, I had a message. It wasn't art. My art was more the Michael Jackson. My message was Protect Your Heart. And Protect Your Heart has a very, very high energetic protection over it. and it's for the people, and it speaks to the person's heart. Anybody who crosses over any art crosses it over with their mind and their ego. My art speaks to their heart. So before their mind and ego even takes a thought into action, their heart is already knocked them out. And I've had one situation where somebody was going around covering heart and putting protect your neck. And this person was very adamant about it for like a good two months in Harlem too. And one day I just got real, like, I got real human about it and angry and went out on a daytime and started crossing all the necks and putting back hearts. And that got me a little viral where now people now started noticing there is somebody putting this stuff out because I was out in the daytime. I've never been out in the daytime. And they caught me on camera being out in the daytime. So that started a whole nother situation of evolving for me as an artist because I was under the radar for like 2 years.
Yeah.
It was just art. Nobody knew where it was coming from. Somebody thought it was a white guy, somebody thought it was a girl. I just heard so many different things of who they think I am, and I'm just a spirit. That's it.
I think that did answer that question, and really, I know it was kind of like a odd question, but it does speak to what I think, and certainly time period, and like you say, while people might have been looking at your art and yeah, they're like, oh, this person's coming up and I've been doing this longer, why am I not getting this?
Yeah.
But you transferred the energy that you wanted to them. You know,
Yeah.
like it in some ways, like, you know, people, the hard New Yorker is softening a little.
Yeah, no, I showed them how to do it.
Yeah.
But they're still learning because it has to come from a heart space, not from a mind space.
Exactly.
So they're still learning. But at the end of the day, the fact that it's happening, I'm grateful for that. The fact that everybody's posting about love and it's changing the atmosphere and the aesthetic of the energy, and that's kind of helping my energetic mission, I'm all for it. So I don't look at it as copy. Yeah, I call it what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I birthed half the that you guys are doing. It is what it is. But it's not like our birthday. It's like I broke the door down to a mindset that was being neglected, and I allowed people to use that part of their brain. For example, the art and heart is something that my brain works that way. But the average person's mind don't work that way until I pointed out that there is art and heart. And everybody, oh my God, and then now people's brain is like looking for words within words and meaning within meanings, which is now what you did. You connected two neurons that was not connected at first in their brain. Now you made that connection. Now they cannot stop doing it, right? Because that's what we want to do. We want to open up each other's whole perspective so we can see everything clearly aside from that they've been showing us all our life. So if it's working, it's working. It may not work according to other people. Somebody coming in, oh, they're copying off of you, they're doing this, they're doing that. I'm like, yeah, they are, but at the end of the day, the mission is being, as a whole, we're winning. You know, we're doing good. You know, and eventually they're gonna notice that they've been doing good, not knowing that they were doing good, even though they thought that even though, you know, they think that just doing that's going to get them more recognition and it's going to get them known better because I'm more love, and I've seen a lot of that going on, and I've seen them from before they was all love. So I know they're not all love, but it's the love, the more you speak it, the more it would just engulf you. Yeah. So keep speaking that love talk, gentlemen and ladies, because it's eventually it's going to make 100% sense.
And some people, I think, you know, you like it or not, their hearts are closed off and they can only come from the mind and the ego. But at some point, sometimes the mind and the ego can break through to send a frequency down, like where something opens up in their mind and
click in their heart.
And
it's happening all over, and we're all doing it. We're all part of this big collective consciousness that's making this happen. So even this part right here, even sitting having this conversation is sending out this dope energy that is being received all over the world in so many different ways. we're allowing people to see things that they probably not able to see if we then match energy with some other energy that's probably doing the same thing we're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to figure it out, trying to go inside or not going inside and trying to figure out, trying to get the answers out here.
It's all there. It's
Um,
coming.
So I'm going to talk about Little Red and Vandal Wolf. And I'm really excited. 19 artists contributed to this book, and it was a long time in the making.
Well,
and-
congratulations to you,
and
first
it's-
and foremost. I want to say that on camera because I've kind of, the reason, again, why I contributed and want to be part of something like that is, again, when an artist put all their blood, sweat, and tears into something, you actually know what is, as an artist, you know what it is and you want them to win. So whatever, from my perspective, whatever I can do to help you see your vision through, I'm all in. And I'm sure a lot of artists felt the same way. So hands down, congratulations that you went through it. Because on top of it, it's the thing that you went through, show people that it's possible, show people how to actually go through that process, including myself, you know. So thank you for exemplifying that process, you know, that journey.